Hello, class 12th student. Today again I am going to start chapter 5th. Topic is human capital formation. This is part 2. In the previous video I had told you about what do you mean by physical capital, what do you mean by human capital, and what is different between them. Okay? And we had learned about the meaning of human capital formation. In today's video I am going to tell you about sources of human capital formation, then human capital and economic growth. Okay, so these are the two topics that we are going to study here. Okay, student. So first of all, what do you mean by human capital and physical capital? Okay, physical capital is a terminology you are familiar. Why? Because you are a commerce student, and in business, in accounts and in economics, every time you are learning about the physical capital. Capital means, physical capital means capital goods. Okay, capital stock. So when we are talking about the physical good, we are talking about the fixed assets and inventory stock. On the other hand, if you talk about the human capital, so human means human being. When we are going to call it human capital, when the people are going to be expert, skilled, educated, okay, then they are considered as a human capital. Why? Because they become more productive. Their productivity will enhance. They are able to do their work more efficiently. Okay, so in this way they become the assets. They become the assets for the firm, for the country. Okay, like a doctor. It cures a lot of people. It helps a lot of people, and it helps. In increasing the social welfare. So in this way, the number of the doctor, they are stock for the human stock for the country. Okay, student. So I think you are able to understand. Now, next is what we had learned, difference between physical capital and human capital. Physical capital is what? It is tangible. You can see it, like number of the machinery, fan. If you talk about your school, so how many classes are there, how many seats are there, fan, computer lab. So what is this? This is tangible. Okay. On the other hand, if you talk about the human capital, so it is non-tangible. Okay. Why? Because when teacher is present in the classroom and he is going to give you lecture, so it is not a tangible thing. Okay. Now, next thing that we had learned about physical capital, in physical capital there is depreciation. Depreciation fall in the value of fixed assets. Okay. And we maintain depreciation fund for it. Okay. On the other hand, if you talk about the human capital, so there is not depreciation, but there is fall in the efficiency with the passes of the time, but we can correct it. We can decrease this rate fall in the efficiency by maintaining good health and investing and upgrading, okay, giving on the job training. Okay, so I think you are able to understand these two. Now, meaning of human capital formation. Human capital, it is related. What is human capital? Is the stock of the people who are educated, who are skilled, who are expert. Okay. On the other hand, human capital formation, it is related to the process by which we increase the number of the expert people, increase the number of the educated people, we increase the number of skilled people. Okay, so it is related to the process by which we increases the number. And human capital stock, yani how many number of the people are educated, expert, skilled. So that is human capital. And human capital formation, it is related to the process by which we create doctor, engineer. Okay. Now, so we are going to discuss today's topic. So let us start. Now, first, sources of human capital formation. Sources of human capital formation means how human capital formation is done in a country. So there are total 5 things. Okay. First is education. Already I had told you about the education. Education is the first thing that help human capital formation. Okay. Why? Because it increases labor skill. Okay, they are become expert in doing particular thing, like a doctor, like an engineer, like a teacher. They are expert in their field. But how they become expert? First of all, they have to take education. They have to take specialized education. Okay, so first thing that going to create human capital formation is education. Now, so we had learned it, how it contribute the good growth. To educated people are going to do their work in more better way in compared to illiterate people. Okay, so one more thing, the educated people have more hygienic habit in compared to illiterate. So in this way, they are going to enhance the social welfare also. Okay. Now, expenditure on health, the second topic, and from here our today video will start. Till now we had done revision. Okay, so expenditure on health, you had listened, health is wealth. Okay, and there is one more quotation that the first wealth is health. So you can understand what is the importance of health for a person. Okay, if you are too much talented, but suppose you are suffering from a disease and you are not able to give the examination, so there will be any assessment? No, we cannot do any evaluation. Okay, so in this way, when you are healthy, then only you are able to show your performance level, then only you are able to do your job at optimum level, at the best level. Okay, you are having too much knowledge, you are having too much talent, but if you are unhealthy, you are not having a good health, then you are not able to do your work regularly. So in this way, health is wealth. And the one more quote, the first wealth is health. Okay, so here is given health expenditure. Health expenditure is the source of human formation, and it is directly increases the supply of healthy foods. Okay, I take one more example. Suppose a teacher who is having good command on his or her subject. Okay, suppose this is a person, so he is going to teach mathematics. Now he is a good teacher, but suppose he is suffering from any diseases frequently, so obviously there will be many absentees, so there will be less outcome, there will be less classes, there will be less lectures, so it is going to affect your result, affect your performance. Okay, so health is very, very important for a worker, for a labor to perform at its optimum level. Okay, now poor health and undernourishment adversely affect the quality of manpower. A sick labor without access to medical facility is compelled to abstain from the work, and there is loss of productivity. So I had told you now, suppose there is a teacher, he is good teacher, but because of illness he is going to absent frequently, so obviously there will be less lecture and it is going to affect your result. Okay, therefore expenditure on health is important to build and maintain productivity, labor force, and improve quality of life in the society. So in this way, health is very important for two things. First, it maintains and it increases productivity, okay, and efficiency of the worker. And the second important, it is going to increase quality of life of the people. Okay. Now next is adequate food and proper nutrition to the people along with the adequate health and sanitation facility leads to qualitative improvement in human capital. Okay, so for having a good health, what we require? We require adequate food, yani nutrition diet. According to the poverty line, 2100 calories should be taken in urban area and 24 calorie must be taken in rural area. It is a minimum requirement that you have to consume. Okay, so adequate food. Next is proper nutrition, means only having a food, but like you are eating fast food, so it junk food, so it is not sufficient, it is not going to maintain your health. Adequate food as well as nutrition diet, yani you are going to intake everything, okay, protein, calorie, everything that is required for a balanced diet, okay. And as well as there is requirement of proper sanitation. Sanitation facility means facility of toilet, drinking water, okay. So these are going to enhance your health, okay, because if there is not proper availability of drinking water and sanitation system, toilet is not available in that area, so what is going to happen? There will be more contagious diseases, okay. Now, so if all these things are available, adequate food, these food are going to be nutritious, having nutritions, and then there will be availability of drinking water, sanitation facility, so no doubt there will be improvement in health and there will be improvement in quality of life of the society. Okay, now from forms of expenditure. So it is very, very important for 1 marks and 3 marks, remember. So there are 3 types of health expenditure. First is preventive medicine. Preventive medicines yani ki it is taken as a vaccination, okay, like this is the time of COVID-19, so all the country are doing research so that they are able to have vaccine for it, okay, and we again the life is going to be on the previous way, okay. So vaccination, preventive medicine is related to what? Vaccination, okay. Now curative medicine, medicine, suppose you fall ill, okay, so whatever medicines and whatever treatment you are going to take, that is considered as a curative medicines, yani you have to consult to doctor and you have to take prescribed medicines and treatment. Now next is social medicine. Social medicine is related to personal and social hygiene, okay, yani ki fresh drinking water, use of toilet, maintain proper hygiene. So this is related to social medicine. It is related to the increasing social awareness among the people to clean the atmosphere and to maintain personal and social hygiene. So this is related to awareness, and no doubt in this government, government had worked a lot for the social hygiene. You had known ki toilet construction has done in every area, okay, and government is trying to provide drinking water, okay, and in this way there are Clean India mission, so there will be garbage and all the rubbish will be in the dustbin only. And student, this is very important because you are the future of our nation, so it is very important that you learn from the beginning, and because you are going to in contact to other people, so it is very important that you are going to follow these things. Whenever you are having any paper or any the things that are not in use, you are going to just put into dustbin, not you are going to throw here and there. So these are related to social medicine, okay. So along with that, drinking water and good sanitation facility, so all these things are health expenditure. So what do you mean by health expenditure? Health expenditure is related to expenditure that is done on preventive medicine, curative medicine, social medicine, okay. Now next, on the job training, the third source that enhance, that help human capital formation is on the job training. So when there is a child, first of all, it is required you give it good education and give it good health. When you become an adult, you are able to do the job, you are having good education and you are having good health. So now when you are in the job, again there is requirement to enhance your productivity and efficiency level of doing the work. So for that there is on the job training. So this point is related to what? It is related to working people. When you are in the job, now how you are going to update yourself with the passes of the time and how you are going to upgrade yourself. So on the job training is related to that, okay. When you are going to do on the job training, yani you are going to familiar with the new technology, okay, you are going to understand how you are able to use new machine, new technology, and we when you are able to operate these things frequently and efficiently, so no doubt you are able to produce more goods, you are able to produce more services at the same time, in the same time. Okay, so in this way you are able to enhance production, and there will be more growth in the economy. Growth means increase in the production of goods and services. Okay, so what is written in your book? So as stated earlier, productivity of physical capital is sustainably enhanced with the improvement in human capital. Obviously, computer is not going to do any work itself. There is requirement of trained people who are going to operate the computer. So we require software engineer for the work. Okay, so in this way the utilization of machinery is depend upon skilled worker, skilled labor. Okay, so that is given here. Due to this reason, many firms provide on the job training to the worker. Why? Because time to time there will be changes in machinery, there will be introduction and modernization of new technology, new machinery. So obviously you have to update yourself so that you are able to do the job. Okay, like take the example of teachers. Before the COVID-19, we are teaching on blackboard, green blackboard, white blackboard, okay, blackboard. But today we all the teachers are teaching you on PowerPoint, on Sky app. They are taking live classes. So obviously, first of all, it is required that we are going to familiar how to prepare PowerPoint slide, how to use all these tools that is in your Android set or on your personal computer. So in this way, when the teacher only those teachers can survive who are able to upgrade themselves. Okay, so such training has advanced that it can provide fast and without much cost. Okay, it increases the skill and efficiency of worker and leads to increase in the productivity. So this is the important line, how on the job training is helpful in growth. अगर आपसे पूछा जाता है कि ऑन द जॉब ट्रेनिंग से कैसे जीडीपी इंक्रीज करती है या ग्रोथ होता है, तो वेन एवर द पीपल गेट ऑन द जॉब ट्रेनिंग, दे आर familiar with the new technology, they are able to use new machinery more efficiently, so they are going to use this machine more frequently, fastly and efficiently, so there will be more production at the same time, and in this way there will be increase in GDP. Okay, so on the job training may takes different forms. So there are different forms. First, worker may be trained in the firm itself under the supervision of skilled worker. So there are two type of on the job training. First is what कि you are trained within your workplace by seniors, okay, या by the experienced workers. Okay. Second is worker may be sent for off-campus training. So like if you talk about IT sector, so many companies send their worker foreign also, so that they are familiar with the new technology. Okay, so there are two ways. They can give you training outside the firm, they can send you anywhere else, any other workshop, otherwise they are going to conduct it in the working place. Okay, after on the job training of employees, firm must that the work should work for a specific period of time and that it cover the benefit of enhanced productivity owing to the training. So देखो, जब भी कोई firm on the job training करती है, तो they are expending lot of money on it. So how they can recover it? The worker are going to do the job at the same time. There will be the same duration of working hour. Okay, and because of have done training, so now they are able to work more efficiently on the machinery, so there will be more work in the same time. In this way they can recover and even they can get the benefit from it. Okay, now next is expenditure on migration. The fourth topic, the fourth factor या source for human capital formation is what? Expenditure on migration. Migration का मतलब movement from one place to another place. Like there are many people who not only shifted to different state, but they had moved to different countries so that they are able to get higher salary, they are able to work at a post that is high paid salary. Okay, so migration is very very important for the worker to get good job, okay, and good workplace. It enhance their productivity, it upgrade them. Okay, so what is written in your book? People migrate from one place to another in search of जॉब दैट फेंच देम हायर सैलरी. तो हम क्यों यहाँ से वहाँ मूवमेंट करते हैं, हम एक प्लेस से दूसरी प्लेस पे क्यों जाते हैं? बिकॉज ऑफ गेटिंग हायर सैलरी. ओके, सो दिस इज द मोटिव बिहाइंड इट. Now, unemployed people from rural area migrate to urban area in search of job. So, unemployed people move one place to another to get the job, and employed people move one place to another place to get more high paid salary. Okay. Technically qualified person migrate to other countries so that they are able to get good, more high paid salary. Now, migration in both the cases involve two kind of cost of transportation and high cost of living. Obviously, when you are moving from one place to another, you have to pay a lot of money on transportation. Okay, and one more thing, high cost of living. Obviously, when you are living in your own home, there is no requirement to pay rent, electricity bill and other things. But when you are moving to other areas, so you have to take room at rent, you have to pay electricity bill, you have to maintain accommodation. Okay, so these are the expenditure that a person do when it takes decision of migration from one place to another place. So expenditure on migration is source of human capital formation. So why people do it? When there is expenditure on transportation as well as on living in an area, so people it do. Why? Because it enhance their earning. Why? Because they are able to get more money in other place. Okay, so that is why people do migration. Now, expenditure on information. So this is the last source for human capital formation. Okay, so expenditure on information means what? Suppose when you are going to pass out from class 12, so you have to search a good college for BCom, for any other course. So you have to get information. Okay, so you have to expend money to get information. Now you had completed your education. Now you want to do the job. So again you have to expend money to get the information. Where is job opportunity? You have to fill the form. You have to go there. So in this way, to assess information, you have to make expenditure on it. Okay, so expenditure is incurred to acquire information related to labor market and other market. So it involves amount spending on seeking information about educational institution, their educational स्टैंडर्ड एंड कॉस्ट ऑफ एजुकेशन. तो अभी आप इंटर पास आउट करोगे, आप बीकॉम करना चाहोगे, बहुत लोग बीकॉम के बाद एमबीए करना चाहेंगे, आप सीएस के लिए ट्राई करना चाहोगे, तो ऑब्वियसली आप क्या करोगे? आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए होगा, कौन सा स्कूल, कौन सा कॉलेज, सॉरी स्कूल नहीं कॉलेज, कौन सा कॉलेज, कौन सा इंस्टीट्यूशन बेस्ट एजुकेशन लेवल रखता है, उसकी कॉस्ट क्या है. तो यू हैव टू, फॉर गेटिंग दीज इन्फॉर्मेशन यू हैव टू पे मनी. ओके, for example, people want to know the level of salary associated with the different type of job, whether the educational institute provide the right type of employed skill and at what cost. So information is necessary to make decision regarding investment in human capital as well as efficient utilization of acquired human capital stock. So for human capital formation, yani for increasing the efficiency, for earning more, there is requirement to expend money on information. Like government is expending lot of money on digitalization of India, digital India. Why government had initiated such type of program? Because it provide a lot of information to rural people. They are able to sell their product where they are going to get good price. In this way they are able to earn good money for their product, and it is going to increase their level of income, and in this way standard of living is going to be high. If you talk about the urban area, so availability and accessibility of information is going to help you to move one place to another place, to migrate to one firm to another firm, so that you are able to get high paid salary, and in this way you are able to increase your income and standard of living, and in this way it is going to ultimately increase overall GDP. Okay. Now, so this topic has completed sources of human capital formation. Sources of human capital formation is related to 5 things: expenditure on health, expenditure on education, on the job training, on migration and information. All these things are very important for a person to earn high paid job, to get high paid job, and to enhance regularly their productivity level and efficiency level of work, and to sustain in the market. Okay. Now, next topic is human capital and economic growth. How both are related to each other. Human capital, how we done human capital? By using these 5 sources, by giving education, having good health, giving on the job training, to give right information at right time, okay, and migrate. When we come to know that there is job opportunity, we frequently migrate there. So these are the things that create human capital. Okay. Now, how human capital, in this topic we are going to understand how human capital is helpful in economic growth. Okay. So it is very, very simple. I am going to explain you first of all in my own way. Dekho, when there will be increase in educated and expert people, okay, so there will be increase in efficiency. There will be increase in efficiency of working people. It will increase efficiency of working people. Okay. Okay, sorry. Enhance efficiency of working people. In response, there will be increase in production, and in response there will be increase in GDP. So remember, when people get good education, specialized education, they are going to acquire expertise in a particular field, so it is going to enhance their efficiency of work. So in response, there will be increase in production and productivity of firm, and in response there will be increase in the production of goods and services, and in this way, when there will be increase in production, it's mean what? It is increase in GDP, and increase in GDP is related to what? Growth. So in this way, human capital is very helpful for growth. Without human capital, you cannot think about growth. Okay. Now, and one more thing. Economic growth is related to what? It is related to increase in GDP as well as increase in per capita income. We had learned in the second chapter. So remember, economic growth is related to 2 things: increase in GDP as well as increase in per capita income. जब इन दोनों चीज़ों में increase होता है तभी हम इसको growth बोलते हैं. तो जब लोग ज़्यादा educated होंगे, ज़्यादा expert होंगे, वो अपना काम better way से कर पाएंगे, efficiently कर पाएंगे. There will be more production. जब ज़्यादा प्रोडक्शन होगा तो ऑब्वियसली देयर विल बी इंक्रीज इन जीडीपी. व्हेन देयर विल बी इंक्रीज इन जीडीपी, इट विल इंक्रीजेस पर कैपिटा इनकम. ओके, एंड इन दिस वे देयर विल बी इकोनॉमिक growth, and economic growth is related to what? It is related to social welfare. Okay. So what is written here? What is written here? It is written here that the contribution of educated person to economic growth is more than an illiterate person. Okay. Already we know a person who is educated, expert, is going to take less time to do its work, okay, in compared to illiterate people. So in this way, educated people and expert people specialized in a particular field are going to do more work, they are able to enhance more production, and this way there will be more increase in GDP. Okay. Similarly, a healthy person also contributes to economic growth, providing interrupted labor supply. If when there is good education, you are having good education as well as you are having good health, in this way there will be regular work, there will be no interruption, and in this way there will be increase in GDP, okay, and growth. So thus both education and health, along with many other factors like on the job training, job market information, migration, increases the income generation capacity of individual. So in very simple manner, how you are going to write it? Increase, you are going to write it increase in human capital, so increase in efficiency of people, increase in production, so there will be increase in GDP, and ultimately there will be increase in growth. Okay students, so just this much you will learn and you will write in this topic. Now, so same thing is here given, okay, more deeply. When there is human capital formation, so human capital formation is going to increase invention, innovation and technical improvement. Obviously, in COVID-19 situation, we are searching vaccine, we are searching medicine, we are thinking about to sanitization machine. So these are related to what? These are related to research. These are related to technology, and those country is only to perform well who are having human capital formation. Like developed country, China is also doing well. Why? Because it is having high technology, high level of human capital formation. Okay. So education provides knowledge to understand change in society and scientific advance, and thus facilitate innovation and innovation. Similarly, availability of education level force facilitate adaptation of new technology. Okay. Now, next topic is what? Here actually it is related that if there is human capital formation, surely there is economic growth. How much there will be economic growth? It cannot be explained. It is very tough to explain. This topic is related to this. When we are doing human capital formation, how much there will be increase in economic growth, we cannot explain it. Why? Because human capital formation is non-tangible thing. So a thing that is non-tangible, so you cannot measure its effect in number. So that is given here, but no sure. It is damn sure, it is 100% sure that when there is human capital formation, there will be increase in productivity and efficiency of the worker, and in response there will be increase in production and there will be increase in GDP. It is sure. And wherever there is high income, there will be high capital formation. So both are correlated. But how much there will be impact, इसका जो नंबर में इसको रिफ्लेक्ट करना पॉसिबल नहीं है. दैट इज गिवन हियर. देयर इज कोर रिलेशन, बोथ आर रिलेटेड टू ईच अदर, बोथ आर इंटरडिपेंडेंट टू ईच अदर, बट हाउ मच दे आर गोइंग टू इफेक्ट टू ईच अदर, क्वांटिटेटिव measurement is not possible. Okay. So what is written here? Due to measurement problem, it is difficult to prove increase in human capital cause economic growth. For example, education measure in term of year of schooling, teacher people ratio, enrollment ratio. Okay, so it is what? Quality of education. We cannot represent. ओके, तो दिस इज़ वन थिंग कि एजुकेशन जो पहला सोर्स है एजुकेशन, उसको हम कैसे मेजर करते हैं? विद द हेल्प ऑफ दीज थिंग. टेक द अनदर हेल्थ को हम कैसे एसेस करते हैं? कैसे उसको हम कि हाँ हेल्थ लेवल अच्छा हो रहा है. सो लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी, मोर्टेलिटी रेट. ओके, सो ये अलग हो गया. एजुकेशन सेक्टर को जिस चीज़ में हम डिफाइन कर रहे हैं उसका अलग हो गया तरीका. ठीक है. तो इन दिस वे इट इज़ डिफ़िकल्ट टू एस्टैब्लिश अ रिलेशन of cause and effect from the growth of human capital formation to economic growth, but both are related to each other. देखो, higher income यानी there will be high level of human capital formation. Like developed country, they are having money, they are having lot of money, so because of that there are too much education system. They are giving quality and quantitative education. They are more research opportunity in compared to developing and underdeveloped country. High level of human capital causes growth of economy. Okay, so जहाँ पे हाई ह्यूमन कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन होगा वहीं पे फिर इनकम इंक्रीज होता है। क्यों? क्योंकि वही जो लोग ट्रेंड है, एजुकेटेड है, एक्सपर्ट है, वो नए इनोवेशन करते हैं, वो नई चीज़ें फॉर्मुलेट करते हैं, उन्हें सेल करते हैं और अधिक इनकम जनरेट करते हैं। लाइक डेवलप्ड कंट्री, ओके, नई चीज़ें, नई इनोवेशन, नई मशीनरी वेयर वी फाइंड इन डेवलप्ड कंट्री, एंड इन दिस वे दे आर मेकिंग द मनी। ओके, now next is development indicator in education and health sector. So already in the first chapter you had learned about that, death rate, mortality rate, life expectancy rate. So these are given here ki on the basis of that you can understand ki how we had overcome these problem in somehow. It is not sufficient satisfactory improvement, but no doubt if you talk about on the eve of independence until now there are lot of improvement. So look at this table. Okay, so real per capita income, that is in 1951 it is 3,687. Now it is 54,835. So there is too much improvement. Death rate, it is 25.10%. Now it is only 7.10. ठीक है. Infant mortality, it is 146. Now it is only 44. Life expectancy, it is 3.720. Now it is 6460. Life expectancy in female, it is 3020, 36.20. Now it is 67.70. Literacy rate on the in 1951 literacy rate is 18.33. Now it is 74.04 according to 2011. तो in this way you can see कि जो भी human capital formation के इंडिकेटर हैं उन सभी फील्ड में, उन सभी इंडिकेटर्स में आप देख सकते हो कि इंडिया ने इम्प्रूवमेंट किया है. ओके, so that is given here. Now okay, here are some report that going to define that ki India is developing. India is doing a lot of in field of human capital formation. First is report by Deutsche Bank. So Deutsche Bank, German bank, in its report on Global Growth Center identify that ki India will emerge as a one among 4 major growth center in the world by the year 2020. So obviously we are, okay. In the further state that human capital is the most important factor for production in today's economy. Increase in human capital is crucial to achieve increase in GDP. Okay, कोई भी country को अगर future में survive करना है तो they have to expend lot of money on education, health facility, on the job training, information and migration. They have to provide good transportation, communication. Okay, so when there is good accessibility of all these things, health, education, communication, transportation, on the job training, so there will be human capital formation and that country is going to dominate global market. So that is given and no doubt India is progressing. Okay, so that is according to the Global Growth Center, according to the report. With a reference to India, it states that between 2005 to 2020, 40% rise in the average years of education in India is expected. So it is a good amount, okay. Now, report by the World Bank. What World Bank had told about India? तो उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा term use किया है India के लिए. That is what? That is knowledge economy. India and knowledge economy. Okay, so remember it is very, very important for your 3rd marks question. It is asked, okay. So the recent report of World Bank, India and the knowledge economy, leveraging strength and opportunity, state that India should make a transit to the knowledge economy. तो उन्होंने इंडिया को कौन सा नाम दिया है? Knowledge economy. In future, India is going to convert into knowledge economy, and this knowledge economy is going to it is going to generate lot of money and we are going to dominate the global market on the basis of a skilled and expertise label, okay, with the help of human capital formation. What is written in this report? If Indian economy uses its knowledge efficiency, यानी कि if India is going to provide health, education, on the job training, going to provide information, and going to provide transportation, communication, so it is going to use its human capital, okay, and there will be increase in per capita income from a little over $1,000 to $3,000 in 2020, बट कोविड-19 ने सारे ही रिपोर्ट्स को आई थिंक बेकार कर दिया, ठीक है, सारे फ्यूचर प्लान्स और सारी चीज़ें। 5 ट्रिलियन का एम था इस साल, तो आई थिंक अभी तो माइनस में चला गया है ग्रोथ रेट, ओके। तो कोविड-19 एक अनएक्सपेक्टेड थिंग आया और सब कुछ जो एक हो रहा था, एक रेगुलर चल रहा था, वो सारी चीज़ों को उसने डिस्ट्रक्ट कर दिया है, ओके। The report further state that Indian economy has all the key ingredients for making transition. Okay, the large number of skilled workers, are well-functioning democracy, diversified science, technology, infrastructure. So India is having all the things. What it have to do? It have to increase it, not only the quantity but quality. And in this way, India is able to make use of its human capital, and it is going to become again क्या गुरु, विश्व गुरु, यू नो ना। पहले हम विश्व गुरु जाने जाते थे, क्यों जाते थे? क्योंकि पहले हम क्या थे, नॉलेज इकॉनमी थे, फिर से हमें नॉलेज इकॉनमी बनना है और हम बनेंगे। दैट इज सेड बाय ऑल द रिपोर्ट, ओके। नाउ दस द टू रिपोर्ट पॉइंट आउट द फर्दर ह्यूमन कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन इन इंडिया विल मूव इट्स इकॉनमी टू अ हायर ग्रोथ पाथ, ओके। इंडिया ने भी 7th फील्ड प्लान से ह्यूमन कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन पे काफ़ी स्ट्रेस दिया है, एम्फेसिस दिया है, ओके। And it is expected that human capital formation is going to play key role in development, in growth, okay. So that is given here, okay. Thank you for today.